Well, the Supreme Court of Appeal has dismissed an appeal by the South African National Roads Agency, SANRAL, over the rights to toll the Winelands route. And Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille is also going to be briefing this media briefing in Cape Town. Let's go now live.
Court order compelling that disclosure. In fact, SANRAL has dragged out the litigation by refusing to provide documents to which the city was found to be entitled. This litigation has exposed SANRAL's secretive nature and its resistance to accountability. SANRAL's foiled attempts to toll sections of the N1 and N2 freeways would have had far-reaching socio-economic consequences for the public and future generations. Local residents and visitors to this region would have paid a toll tariff that are nearly 3 times that of the e-toll tariffs currently charged in the Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project. This is despite government admitting that the GFIP fees are unaffordable. For every 2 rand paid in tolls, only 1 rand would have been to the benefit of the toll payer. The proposed toll scheme would involve 243% of the costs of a public non-toll scheme, with the largest component of the additional cost to be the preferred bidder's pre-tax profits. Traffic would have been diverted away from the freeways, in particular around the toll plazas. Upgrading alternative routes would have cost the city between 258 million rand and 516 million rand alone. The city insists that it would be cheaper and more cost-effective for SANRAL to fund the upgrades and maintenance of the N1 and N2 freeways themselves, as opposed to implementing a private tolling scheme. Tolling is an excessively expensive funding method for the construction of road infrastructure, and the user benefits are usually minuscule in comparison with the concessionaire's profits. I think all in all we can agree that this Supreme Court ruling is the high point in a long legal battle. Thank you very much.
Are you going to monitor the media?
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor. Are there any questions?
Councillor, can you just explain, I'm not understanding the second bullet point here about the 243% of cost. Just break that down a little bit just in terms of what that really means. Yes, on the top of page 3, that first bullet point.
The cost, the alternative to a private toll project would be one of the alternatives would be a non-toll scheme, public scheme. So if SANRAL or the national government were to fund the road infrastructure that was required and fund it themselves through bonds or borrowings, there would be a 243% savings. So the cost of tolling and using a private concessionaire to do it has escalated what the actual costs are by 243%. As it says, which includes almost 40% of those costs are pre-tax profits.
Any other questions? Yes, Better.
I've just got 2 questions on my side. Just clarity in terms of working with SANRAL. You said you're willing to work with SANRAL. What will that entail precisely? Then my other question, it might be an unfair question, but I'll ask it nonetheless. The implications of this judgment, if any, on the e-toll Southern Joburg in Gauteng, especially bearing in mind that the DA is now in control of that area. I mean, does that embolden the DA going forward in terms of challenging SANRAL when it comes to such mergers?
First one. I can show you some letters of correspondence between myself and the SANRAL CEO. We prepare to go back to those proposals where we need to meet. We were going to meet at that time without prejudice to the rights of SANRAL to proceed with their appeal. And I can make this correspondence available to you. We would like to start there again. Really looking at what are the needs of the, in terms of maintenance and new roads within the Western Cape, within the city of Cape Town. And then from there, we can say to SANRAL, this is what we are doing, what we are planning, say at least for the next 5 years. Like for instance, in terms of dealing with the congestion in the city of Cape Town, we've already put aside 750 million to deal with it. So we want to share that information with SANRAL and see where we can meet each other to decide on a joint plan as to what is the best option and the most affordable option for road users in the city of Cape Town. So I'll give you a copy of those correspondence to them.
Just your the second question regarding the impact for Johannesburg. I think that the big impact is that SANRAL will have to work more cooperatively and collaboratively with metropolitan governments. The Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project was contested by OUTA and not by any of the governments in the Gauteng region. And when OUTA took the Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project to the court, all the way to the Constitutional Court, the infrastructure had already been built and the agreements had been signed, and the court found it was too late. But if SANRAL is proposing to roll out any additional toll road projects in areas that are now governed by the DA, they're going to have to work differently, because I think those governments are on high alert. But I don't think this has any impact on the existing project.
Are there any further questions, Marlies?
I just want to find out in Judge Bin's wards, he took a hard line on Nazir Ali when he made his judgment that day, and he said that Mr. Nazir Ali went through a lot of steps to try and show that the board actually did approve. Do you think there are individuals in SANRAL who pushed for this, and that actually it's not a whole SANRAL issue, but maybe more individuals like Mr. Nazir Ali, who was actually pointed out by Judge Bin's ward?
I mean, I would like to read the full judgment of the SCA and to see if the SCA has said anything about the credibility of some of the evidence that SANRAL presented, because I would imagine that some of that evidence lacks credibility. That was found in the Western Cape High Court, and given the finding of the Supreme Court of Appeals this morning, one must assume that credibility of some of the evidence still remains questionable. But it does raise a question for us, and the Mayor and I will have to discuss this, but Treasury gave SANRAL an exemption from Treasury scrutiny for any public-private partnerships. And what we've seen is that SANRAL haven't exercised that scrutiny themselves properly. So Treasury gave that exemption on the basis that SANRAL has the capacity to exercise scrutiny over their own arrangements without Treasury having to oversee it. And I think that we must discuss whether we shouldn't make representations to Treasury about whether that exemption should stand.
Thanks, Councillor. Anything else? Good. Thank you so much all for coming. If you need sound bites, I think the Mayor and Councillor Heron will